Hi friends, welcome to Mental Health Memo. I'm Tsvetty and this here is Molly invading my space and being incredibly needy. And for today's memo is that I've discovered I actually love shaking pill bottles. It's so much fun. Isn't it fun? I just can't get enough of it. But also on a more serious note, excuse me, can I please do my introduction? Can I please do my introduction in peace? Thank you. But in more serious news, today we're going to be looking into a very common supplement often used for anxiety, and that's magnesium. So let's jump in. Alright, with Molly gone, we can actually now focus in on today's topic, which is going to be magnesium. So I kind of wanted to actually do, okay, let me just put this down because it keeps making noise. I actually really wanted to do a little series where I tried different types of products that are meant to help different symptoms of mental health issues. So whether that is anxiety or depression, obviously these would be things that I actually experience, so I'm not going to be trying things for like delusions because I don't experience those. But I did really want to try different stuff out and kind of test them out, see if they work. I don't have a name for it though, so if anyone has a suggestion, let me know. But for now, I'm just calling this Tsvetty is trying stuff out. Very creative. But either way, for our first episode of Tsvetty trying things, we are going to be talking about magnesium. So I've been seeing magnesium as a type of supplement for anxiety kind of all over the place. I've been seeing articles about it, I've been seeing blog posts about it, I've been seeing videos about it. I even saw that girl that did H2O, Just Add Water. Do y'all remember that show? Was I the only one that watched that show? Did I live in a different parallel universe? Y'all know that show, right? I've got a special power that I'm not afraid to use. So come on, this is my adventure. I should not ever do cover videos ever. I'm really sorry you had to witness that. Either way, I saw her taking magnesium. She was doing like one of those I'll get ready for bed with me or whatever the heck those are called. She was doing one of those and she was saying that she was taking magnesium for her anxiety and that she used to take actual prescription medication before, but she wasn't experiencing as much anxiety, so she was taking magnesium for the time being, which was working for her. With all of these different indications that magnesium is really helpful for anxiety, me being the queen of anxiety decided that I must give it a try. I could have basically just taken this in general for anxiety, but I actually at the time when I was taking this was experiencing two big issues that magnesium is supposed to help with. First is magnesium is apparently really good for nighttime anxiety. So a lot of people take it before they go to bed to kind of relieve that evening anxiety and kind of help with sleep. So at the time, because I was experiencing conveniently a lot of nighttime anxiety, so a lot of panic attacks right before bed and just a lot of really severe high anxiety leading up to bedtime, I thought that magnesium was going to be kind of a great way to maybe relieve that. This is what I do when I don't have words for what I'm trying to say. So that was point one, nighttime anxiety. But point two was because of my severe level of anxiety, and this is not just then, but this has always been an issue. I have really tight muscles. Like my muscles are just always sore. I clench a lot, like, ooh, because I'm always anxious. I pick at things, I'm hunched, So I kind of needed a little bit of support in that department. And magnesium is actually oftentimes prescribed for people that are having like muscle spasms, athletes. So I thought, okay, so this is going to be great for muscles. Maybe it'll help the soreness that I feel in my body because of anxiety. And then hopefully, ideally, maybe it'll also help the nighttime anxiety as well. Okay, so to sum up that entire little rant, we're looking at three things. Number one is nighttime anxiety relief, which magnesium is very well known for. We're also looking for general anxiety improvements, maybe just in the daily functions of life, I don't know, just anxiety in general. And then three, we're looking at improving the soreness in our muscle that is oftentimes made and perpetrated by anxiety. All right, so with that in mind, let's look at our product, magnesium citrate. So a couple things to mention. The reason that I bought this one is because there's 180 capsules And for the price that it was at, this was a great deal, at least at the time. And when I bought this and Canadian money, this was a really great deal. Also, there's 400 milligrams worth of magnesium citrate. And usually, I mean, everyone is going to be different in terms of how much they need, but in general, I think women need it around like 320 milligrams and men 400 milligrams. So, I mean, a couple milligrams over is not that big of a deal. So it was in the right range of the amount I need per day. And then also, this is magnesium citrate, which is a lot easier to absorb than regular magnesium. And that's important because if you take a supplement that's not going to actually go into your system properly, if it's not actually going to get digested, then it's just going to exit your body and have done absolutely nothing except for take your money. So all of those things are kind of the key components that I was looking for. Even on the bottle, you'll see that it says like energy production, nervous system, and muscle and bone. So I was like, great. Let me just buy that. If you are interested in getting the one that I got, I will put a link in the description box for you. Okay, so let's go over kind of when I took it and also what ended up happening. So I took this as per the requirements, or the instructions is probably the better word here. As per the instructions, I took this once a day. And at the beginning, I took it in the morning because I thought, you know, if I take it, it'll give it enough time to maybe help my anxiety throughout the day. But kind of in hindsight, it was pretty stupid of me to do that because my anxiety was worse at night, so I should have taken it then. But I do take it at nighttime now, so the error has been fixed. I should note that I did start taking this at night pretty quickly. I kind of realized that was kind of dumb of me to do, so I think probably within a week-ish I actually started taking it at nighttime. Alright, so I'm actually going to divide this by periods of time because I had a lot of changes when I started taking this. So for the first 2-ish weeks, I would say that my anxiety actually kind of improved a little bit. As always with these things, it is possible for it to be a placebo. If you want something to work, it usually will. So, you know, there is the possibility of placebo. I'm just putting that out there, you know, to be transparent. But, you know, that was my experience, that for the first 2-ish weeks, I would say my anxiety felt a little bit better. But more importantly, my muscles felt a lot better. Like, I don't mean a little bit better, I mean a lot better. And then around the middle point of the month, I unfortunately started having really bad stomach issues. And on today's Tsvetty check-in, I cut my bangs. They look a little whack. What can you do? You know? It just be like that sometimes. And it kind of looks like Rock Lee from Naruto, so I'm gonna take that as inspiration, that I'm strong and dedicated, and I'm just gonna keep pushing forward with these weird, uneven bangs. But either way, the reason that I am making this update is because we've had a little bit of a hiccup. My stomach has been really, really weird for the past couple days. Every time that I eat, immediately after, I'm in a lot of pain, and I have to use the bathroom. And I'm usually bedridden for a few hours until the pain kind of subsides, and then even then I'm still bloated. So that has kind of caused me to mess up my sleep schedule because I am bedridden and sleeping so much from the pain. So in terms of how the magnesium is affecting me, I feel like at this point I can't really tell, but I'm seeing my doctor on Tuesday, so hopefully she will be able to tell me what might be happening and we can improve it, and I can kind of get back on track with the magnesium investigation. So basically what that meant was that I was in bed 24/7. I was asleep the whole time. And it was hard to kind of tell muscle soreness considering I could not move, and it was hard to tell anxiety levels because I was just constantly passed out. After about a week, maybe max 2, my stomach started feeling better, and I kind of started getting back to exercise and also back to panicking. So that kind of allowed me to get back on track with figuring out whether the magnesium was helpful or not. And I've been taking it now for about 4 months. So I think that I've given it substantial time to kind of show me what it can do for me. Basically, what I found was that as time progressed, I felt the effects on my anxiety less, but the effects that I felt on my soreness kind of stayed the same. So basically, at the beginning, I was feeling improvements in both my anxiety and my soreness. But then as I continued taking the magnesium, my anxiety kind of came back pretty much the same. Not that it ever left. Let's make that clear. It never left. But it did come back kind of in the same full force as before. So it was definitely not, the magnesium was definitely not helping me out on that department anymore. However, I was still feeling a lot of benefits from the magnesium in terms of the soreness of my muscles. So because of that, I just decided to keep taking it. I mean, either way, there was 180 capsules in there and I wasn't about to throw them out. So girl, I spent coin on that. It's going at my body, whether my body likes it or not. And basically my final verdict is that magnesium for anxiety for me did not really help. I still have anxiety in the exact same capacity as before. I don't feel it any less. In fact, I'm actually, as I'm filming this, I'm having really horrible nighttime anxiety again. So it definitely did not improve my anxiety, but it did really improve the soreness of my muscles. And now I actually take magnesium right after a workout along with fish oil to kind of help the soreness of my muscles out. And I do just want to note, I know it kind of sounds like my body's getting sore from exercise, which it can, obviously it can, but the soreness that I'm talking about is there before the exercise, during the exercise, after the exercise, and I usually feel soreness a lot more than others with activities that probably would not make most people sore. And, you know, I've talked about this with doctors and whatnot, and you know, we kind of have come to the conclusion that anxiety definitely perpetuates a lot of that soreness, which is why this is kind of important to me, and it does still relate back to my anxiety. It's not just like I just take it for soreness because I exercise a lot and that's what it works for. You know, it is still related to anxiety. I do just want to say though, just because it did not work for me does not mean that it will not work for you. I think that there's a lot of truth in those articles, and I think that there's certainly a lot of people out there that do benefit from taking magnesium for specifically their anxiety, like the psychological and emotional aspects. So I'm not saying that this does absolutely not work in any way, shape, or form, but what I am saying is that for me, it did not do the most when it comes to feelings of anxiety. And obviously that could be because I just have more severe anxiety than maybe some other folks might. Maybe because just it doesn't do anything for my brain. It doesn't help in any aspect. So there's a lot of reasons for why this may have not worked for me, but it may actually work for you. So I would recommend still giving it a try. I mean, there's a lot of benefits to magnesium outside of anxiety. So you can talk to your doctor, ask them what they think, ask them if they think it's a good idea. And in terms of if I'm gonna keep using this, I do actually intend to keep using this. I kind of believe in an approach to mental health of using a lot of different things that probably aren't miracles but help a little bit, and then combining those into just a ball of different strategies and things to do to alleviate anxiety so that you have a better shot of not dying from anxiety. So what I mean by that is I am taking this magnesium. I mean, if it does a little bit help with anxiety, then great, I have that. But I also do a lot of exercise to help with anxiety. I also do mindfulness to take care of my anxiety. I might also I'm not on prescription medication now, but I used to be. So that was a part of my plan of taking care of my anxiety, and eating well, drinking water, sleeping. All that stuff together kind of creates a more holistic approach where everything does its part in a way, because there's usually not going to be one miracle thing that's going to fix your anxiety. Alright, so if you like that video, please give it a big thumbs up, because it just tells me what you like to see, so then I know to make more of them. Also, it just makes me happy, so if you could please do that. And if I could ask you to do one more thing, if you could please click the subscribe button and also the little ding-a-dingy bell next to it, so that you know whenever I release a new video and you don't miss out on other fun mental health content. All right, with that, I will see you in the next one. Bye, friends.